Hello, kings, queens, and non-binary beings, and beautiful beings of the like. Welcome back to another episode of Psychedactyls. Today, we're going to be talking about integration. And yes, it's been a while since I've done a video, but I am back. Also, yes, I am in my pajamas, and I'm loving it. So yes, integration. I talked about integration in my past two videos, but we didn't go too in depth on what integration is, why you should do it, and how. So integration is basically taking insights and lessons from your psychedelic experience and then applying it to your daily life. Lasting benefit comes through integration. And remember, psychedelics themselves are not a cure. It's the actual integration process that brings upon those benefits. Psychedelics supply you with life-changing insights, but you actually have to apply those insights to make long-term life changes. And this is why people tend to relapse quickly after taking psychedelics. Like, they'll be fine for about a week or two, but then go back into, say, depression or something. Is because they either don't know how to integrate or don't even know it actually exists. Without integration, you are actually missing out on 95% of the benefits that come from the psychedelic experience. So, how does integration work? Well, basically it's unlearning old processes, old internal processes in your mind, so beliefs, habits, etc., and then replacing it with new, healthy internal processes. So that being said, when you go into the integration process, don't set high expectations for yourself. Trust your inner healing intelligence, because the changes that you want to make or those unhealthy internal processes will not just magically go away. Like I said before, psychedelics themselves are not a cure, and it takes time to heal, and you have to just trust yourself, trust your inner healing intelligence, and allow time to bring upon the new healthy internal processes. And through integration, this can be done. And now it's going to be really difficult at first because, implementing new internal processes can be very overwhelming and stressful. But I promise you, if you keep persisting with that, in about 3 months, you will look back and see how much you've improved and how much you've changed, and you'll be like, holy, that's amazing. So let's get into the integration process. Number 1 is receiving. So, like the name, you're receiving information, insights, lessons from your experience, whether that be during the experience or afterwards. Basically taking in information and decoding it. Figure out what the experience means and what needs to be done. I usually like having a theme of my experience. So there are methods to go about this. So, reflecting on your initial intentions of the experience. Write about your experience in a journal, like a paragraph about it. Also, listening to the music that you played during your experience is actually very helpful for the recall process. Using mind maps, which is very helpful, and we're going to talk more about that later. And also talking to someone who is supportive of these kinds of experiences can be extremely helpful with bringing about the lessons you learned. So number 2 is release. So this is identifying what is no longer serving you so that you can implement new healthy processes. So this can be a multitude of things like negative thought loops. It can even be the time you spend on social media, or possibly a substance that you have been abusing. Number 3 is action. Again, like the name, you bring all of these lessons and insights into action. So that can come in many forms, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. So number 4 is practice. So that is basically repeating and reinforcing these new internal processes. I also found a great integration workbook online that I'm going to If you're on YouTube, I'm going to link that in the description. And if you're on Instagram, I'm going to have it in my bio. So, helpful integrative activities. So some of these can be used at any part of the integration process. Well, most of these can. Meditation. Meditation is amazing for integration, especially because if you look at the neurology, it is very similar to what it is like to be in a psychedelic state. Being in nature, going on hikes, camping can be great to just reflect. Charting and tracking your goals. Yoga is also really great. You can get an integration support coach. Even therapy would be a good one, like especially cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT. Accountability system for commitments, engaging with the arts, whether that be playing an instrument, dancing, drawing, painting, and journaling. I think journaling is really, really great with being able to get all of your ideas down and just the lessons in general. We talked about mind maps before, and I'm going to show you why mind maps are very effective when it comes to taking in the receiving part of the integration process. So mind maps. If you already know what a mind map is, you can skip this, or if you're looking to understand how you kind of do an integrative mind map, we can do that. And I actually had a shroom trip last weekend, and I have not made a mind map for it yet. The trip got like extremely meta. It was very interesting, and I took a bit lower dose than usual, but I still got some amazing lessons from that. So I usually start with a theme in the middle. I had a hard time trying to think of the theme, but I think it was, love yourself and taking control, even though my feelings on free will is kind of iffy, but anyways. So your theme in the middle, and then the kind of lessons you've learned around it. You can use different colors if you'd like. So one of the lessons I learned was love yourself, and loving yourself is not egotistical, because before I thought it was, and you know what? It's not. And I actually figured this out through speaking with the person I had my shroom trip with, because we got into a conversation about, what love actually is, and we came to the conclusion that, it's much more than we normally think, because love is not simply just an emotion, yet we're led to believe that it is. It's actually an action, something that you do. Another thing I learned is that the brain is not my master. It's actually my servant. So yeah, my brain is not in charge of me. I'm the captain of my own goddamn ship. So if you want, you can elaborate more on things. This has to do a lot with anxiety and me yelling at my fear to fuck off. During the shroom trip, I had I squared up with my fear and anxiety, and I just kind of told it to fuck off, and it was a very empowering moment for me. Another one was taking care of yourself, like you're your own parent or something like that, treat yourself like you would treat your own child. Take care of yourself like a baby. And then the final thing, which is not really related to this, it's actually just, questioning everything. Like I said, the trip got very meta, and it's fun to question reality, getting metaphysical and stuff. And yeah, that's it. You don't really have to, put as many things as I did, or you can put more. It's up to you. You gotta customize it. Draw pictures if you want, it's fun. Journaling can kind of be really whatever you want to be. You don't have to follow a certain method of it. But there's one method that I find really helped me, and I highly recommend, is using something called the law of attraction. So this can be used by, someone who's spiritual or non-spiritual. I'm gonna link a really good explanation video for the law of attraction in the description. I think she does a really, really great job with explaining it, but I'm gonna try my best here. The law of attraction is basically, asking the universe for what you want and phrasing it in a way that you have it already. And you also write down how it feels to have said thing. So let's have a little example. So this is when I was addicted to something called poppers, which is a combination of tobacco and weed. This is at a time where I was still smoking it. I wrote down, I've quit poppers and it feels great. I have so much more motivation and ability for communication. I don't feel disconnected from others. I have a better relationship with my parents. My health is amazing now. I eat more food. My lungs are healthy. And I don't feel like I am trapped in some sort of prison in my mind. So I kept on writing this for about a week, and I ended up going cold turkey. yeah, I haven't done it in 6 months, so it's really helpful. I think it's really great. So it's an excellent integration method, and I also recommend it for people who don't even take psychedelics or are just looking to improve themselves or want a particular thing, etc. Whatever you like, you ask the universe for whatever you want. So law of attraction is typically associated with the spiritual, and I'm going to explain to non-spiritual people why this is also effective. You don't need to be spiritual to use this kind of journaling method. So basically, we're always fixated on a result. So for me, it was quitting poppers, but I didn't want to do the action that is quitting because, I'm addicted. So we want a result, but we have to do an action to get the result. And in order to do the action, we need a particular mindset. And law of attraction starts at the mindset, because it kept me thinking about how better my life would be in general quitting poppers, right? So that's what really drove me to do the action to get that particular result. So yes, integration, very, very important part of your psychedelic experience. Trust your inner healing intelligence. It takes time to heal. Healing doesn't go like that, right? You need to give it time and tend to it, as well as an overwhelming majority of benefits come from integrating. So obviously integration is super important, and I can't stress it enough that it is. So I hope everybody enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, comment down below and I will answer them. I also hope everybody has an amazing day or night. So I'll see you in the next video.